Hi guys, welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast. It's me, your host Emily, and today I am joined back with my gorgeous friend and fellow coach Kayleigh from Evolve Fitness.
Hello.
Hello. So we have just had a terrible technical time trying to join with each other, and we're still not there, but we're making it work, aren't we, babes?
Yeah, we're doing what we can. Technology isn't quite my forte.
It was babes same, and how funny, how appropriate there are episodes days about life of an online coach. And
Online.
I always say to everyone, I am like the least technical person. When I started, I very, very remember when I very first started Empowered, I couldn't use Google Sheets. Like genuinely couldn't use it. I remember I
Yeah.
had to ask someone, and there was a guy who's been on the podcast, Andy. He was so lovely to me when we started out. Like he was another coach, and he just helped me loads. He just like sent me stuff and was like, "This is how you do this. This is how you do that." And I was like, "Okay." But yeah, so
I'm
funny.
still
Anyway,
not
so
the
here we
best.
are. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. The sun is shining, makes everything feel nicer, doesn't it? Is it nice with you as well?
It's stunning. I know I look like I've just been dug up out of a graveyard, but it's because I've literally come straight in from the gym. And anyone who's watching on video will be able to see my neck, and like it looks like
That
I've
looks
been having like some
painful.
dodgy, rough sex, but I definitely haven't. I have. I've just been to CrossFit and been using the barbell, and it just looks awful.
I'll be honest,
And
that would have been the last thing to cross my mind.
really,
Yeah.
oh, I think it looks well done. Anyway, but it's definitely not that. And what was the thing to say? Oh yeah, so I've literally just ran in, and I was on the phone to my friend driving back from the gym, and I was like, oh, I said I'm doing a podcast now with just the most my gorgeous friend, and she always looks really fit, and I'm going in, I've got no makeup on, no lashes on, straight
Be
from the gym.
quiet. You are naturally gorge. Your
Oh,
skin looks amazing.
I think that is such a backhanded compliment. You're naturally
Yeah.
pretty. No, I don't want to be naturally pretty. I have my Botox on my lips and lashes and brows because I like being that type of pretty.
I thought you had your lips dissolved.
I've had them put back in.
Oh,
I know, shit. I know. I need. So basically, we are going to get into the episode, but this is quite fun to listen to. When I had them dissolved, I've had my lips done since I was like 24. I always had the complex. I had them done before it was like a thing because I
yeah.
always had like a complex. Like I genuinely care. I used to smile and my top lip used to disappear. Like you just couldn't see it.
So,
Anyway, so I started getting them done, and then I went to get them like done after the baby because they like lost their shape, and the girl was like, I can't do anything with them. She was like, you need to have them dissolved because she said if I put filler back in, they're just gonna just still look
migrate.
shapeless. And she
Yeah.
was like, so you need to have them dissolved. And then she said, how long have you had them done for? And I was like 10 years. And she was like, you probably had like about 8 mil like in your lips, like, but it's all like migrated under and stuff, which she probably was. And so
Mm.
she put a mil back in, and I was like, what this is nothing. What is this? So then I had another mil put back in, and now I am like, I am still not happy with them.
See, I quite like a natural, subtle look.
Nah, that is really bad. It's really
Fair
bad.
enough.
My sister out of the pair of us is the natural subtle one. I am like tan. It's so funny when I was
Oh, I can
30.
as well.
When I was 30, I had these cakes. Well, I didn't have them. My friend had them made, and on them they were called. They said tan tits, lips, and teeth because I like do all of that.
Have you got fake boobs?
No, but I
Oh.
did used to have really big boobs.
Oh.
And then I lost loads of weight and they went. But yeah, like I love to whiten my teeth, love to do tan, lashes and all of that anyway, yeah. Anyway, right, so that's where we're at. I can't even know why we got onto that. But yeah, so anyway, that's where we're at with the lips. What are we talking about? So today's episode, we'll just carry on into that. Today's episode, we're going to talk about a little bit of like what we do. It's quite nice, isn't it, to talk about because we chat obviously all the time. And I do think, that whole Instagram isn't real. Well, it is real, but it's a highlight reel, isn't it? But actually our jobs are not quite full on, but can be very, very full on. And
Yeah.
sometimes like we will message each other and not get back to each other till like, oh, I don't know, 10 working days later and be like, I'm so sorry. I've been doing
Yeah.
this. But I do feel like on Instagram, it can make it look like, oh, they just go to the
Filling
gym and
job. Yeah.
go for a walk and stuff like that. But we know that time is absolutely like regimented.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've got a baby now as well, throwing that into the mix, and you know, you've got a really successful business. So we were just going to do a little chat, wasn't we, about like
how we structure our days and
how we structure our
everything that
day.
is involved behind the scenes, I think, because I think
Yeah.
that looking at it on Instagram, like you see snippets of our day, like literally fractions of what we do. And like you said, I think online coaches can be seen as people who just get to work remotely, chill out half the day. But if you want a successful business and you want to really help your clients and care for your clients and get the good results, that is the last thing that it is.
It is the last thing that it is, Kay. You're so right. And like, even now, you know, and I'm not saying this is healthy. I'm just being like really open and honest.
Mm,
Like the last, because obviously, like, you know, I've never had a baby before and run a business before. Like the business was my baby before Eliza, and coming back. Sorry, it's just my postpartum hair falling out. Like you've just seen me putting it in the bin. Like, but me coming back, I've had to work some nights till like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm not saying
mm,
that's healthy, and I know I can't continue doing that, but that is what I have to do to have the
yeah,
business that I want to run. And again,
yeah,
I don't post that. I don't post that on Instagram because I don't really wear that as like what do they call it, like a badge of honor. Because I
I
know if one of my
agree.
clients was saying I'm working till 11, I'd be like, well, that's not okay. But
Yeah.
also, I know that it's not okay, but it is a means to an end for the time being.
Mm,
Sometimes it actually, okay, maybe there's some weeks that I do have to do that. You know, we've just had how many? We've just had, you know, 75 clients at one time when we were doing the Fit and Six, doing one to one. I'm
yeah.
4 months postpartum. So it's a lot of business to have and make work. And I had to make that sacrifice of, well, I want to be present for when the baby goes to bed. Then I'll just go to work after. And I used to
Yeah.
joke and be like, oh, I'm doing the night shift. But now the Fit and Six is on its little break, I definitely won't do that now because it's important to, you know, not burn yourself out, which I slightly might have last week. But we've both experienced burnout, right? Haven't we?
Absolutely. Yeah. And just touching on that, I find it quite difficult sometimes to be 100% honest on my stories and show how much I am doing throughout the day
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, there is this toxic positivity. And I absolutely would not want anyone to look at what I'm doing in my days and think, oh my God, she works so much. Like, that's what she expects from me, that's what she would expect from
Yes.
anyone else. And it's really not. It's just, someone said to me before, right? It must have been a couple of years ago. I was speaking to them. They'd left their corporate to go into business as well. And they said, when you leave your 9 till 5 to go into business, you're basically going to 8 to 8. Like, that's kind
Mm.
of what you have to do if
That's
you
a good
want.
way to think about it.
Yeah, it's kind of,
8 till 10 sometimes, but anyway.
yeah, like if you want to be successful in what you're doing, the reality is you can't just work 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, every single week of the year. There is going to be a lot of graphs. There's going to be weekends, there's going to be evenings. You're going to have to say no to certain things.
Hmm.
I've just said no to a holiday last week because we've got Evolve and 8 starting next week.
Hmm.
So yeah, you do have to make a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah. And I do think as well, like what you said, I remember my dad saying to me when I went fully online, like at the very beginning,
Mm,
and was like, you know, getting everything off the ground, it is completely, yeah, let's just be really honest. It does take over your life. It is like to get a business up and running. I'm sorry, but it is a 7-day job for a while.
yeah,
Like you know,
100%.
you can take hours, and I do absolutely agree. Like take hours out, you know, put massage and self care in, but at the beginning, it's very difficult to take a full day off. And I'm just talking from a personal experience here. Like I know that, and my dad said to me, I remember my dad saying to me once, babe, the dream is like Monday to Friday and then taking the weekends off with family. I said, and I know that's a dream. I said, but to get there, you have to put the work in to get there. And now I am
Yeah,
in a position that I'm confident because I've built this business and I know how to coach people like a million times better than what I was doing at the beginning. Like I know that actually there are weekends where I can say, all right, guys, you know, I'm just going away for the weekend, so I won't be working this weekend. But then there are also like times, like you said, that I actually get excited. I'll set my alarm. by the way, for some people, this is going to be like, that is not setting my soul on fire. But there are some times over weekends, I will set my phone alarm for 5 a.m. and I literally will get up and get on the computer because the world is asleep and I can
Yeah.
just work and I can just get shit
Mm-hmm.
done and just be like, okay. But, you know, for some people, that is like, ugh, on a Saturday morning. But for me, to know that I've got like 3 hours of
Yeah.
undisturbed work time, like, it's quite exciting sometimes.
No, I get
It's
that.
like
I
that,
actually
isn't it?
did that this morning pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, you are going to have to fit in a lot more around a baby than I am right now because I'm not a mum yet. And I honestly take my hat off to you. I don't know how you're doing it. And when it's my time, I'm going to be coming to you for sure for all of the tips. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for ooh, 4, 5, 4,
Did you
almost
start in
4
2020?
years. Yeah, I started at the end of 2020.
Same as me.
So yeah, around 4 years then, and I still work some weekends now. There is still some weekends that you do have to work,
There is.
um, and I've definitely been through burnout. I think before I started business, I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I would use the term, "Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so burnt out." Like from my 9 to 5 office job, I'd get home on a Friday, I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm just feeling so burnt out. I need the weekend to do like nothing." And don't get me wrong, rest is needed from time to time. I
Yeah.
completely agree with that, but true burnout, horrific.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous. Well, when was it? I experienced it. I think it was 2023. That must have been when I first met you. Do you remember?
I remember. I vividly
It
remember.
was
Yeah.
it was awful. It's kind of the feeling like you're struggling to get up in the mornings.
Mm.
You're struggling to do like literally basic tasks like make my eggs on toast.
But I remember
Um,
having that chat when you were going through it, and I remember you like you know when it's been like your creativity was just blanketed. You were
yeah,
overthinking like it was like you couldn't compute small things.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. So
Yeah.
that for me was a real eye opener, and I did have to set more boundaries for myself at
Mm-hmm.
that point to be able to move forward in a way that I felt energized to show up for myself every day, but also for my
Mm-hmm.
clients because
Mm-hmm.
it's a hard balance, isn't there? Like sometimes you want to push forward and you have to put the work in a little bit more, but now I definitely know when I'm approaching that point, and I know when I have to take even half a day off
Yeah.
to just kind of reset.
100%. Like I
Harsh,
relate to that so
harsh
much. Like
lessons.
my burnout was again though, like we're just talking open honestly here. We're not saying you have to go through burnout. I just think it's funny. Well, it's not funny at all, but I mean it's just a coincidence that you've been through it, I've been through it. I know so many other coaches as well, is that like it is finding your feet with running a successful business. Like you
Mm,
before you know you're at the edge of the cliff and you're like, shit, how did I get here? For me, I was losing love for what I was doing. Like I am
yeah,
a super passionate person and I am passionate about every single one of my clients. Like I really want to help them. And I know that I was showing up and I was doing what I needed to do, but not loving it. And that for
yeah.
me was a bit like shit. Okay. And that is why I know now when I go on holiday. So I take as an online coach, again, like, you know, what do you get when you're in 9 to 5? Is it like 4 weeks or 6 weeks
I think
holiday?
so. Yeah, yeah,
Something
yeah,
like that. I know for me, I take 1 week in the summer and 1 week at Christmas off.
yeah.
Like any other time away, like let's say I went on 2 summer holidays, I would work one.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah,
and even so, for example, when I went on honeymoon, I went for 3 weeks. Now, again, like it's my business. Like I can't take 2 weeks off. I just
yeah,
couldn't. But what I did do was planned out. So I knew that I think I worked the first week. And you know, I love my job. And when I say work, I was working in a private freaking villa on my honeymoon with the coffee and the sun in bloody Bali. Do you know what I mean? There's worse places to work. And it's a love. We've got a great job. We get to help people. So it's always finding like the positives of, and if it wasn't for my work and my work ethic, I wouldn't have been able to go on that honeymoon,
yeah.
you
I
know? And that's
agree.
what I always
Yeah.
think. But yeah, I do. I take 2 weeks off a year.
I'm the same pretty much. I took Christmas off to go to New York this year. That
Yeah.
was like the first time I've ever been away over Christmas. I don't think I'd do it again, you know. It was a bit
Hated that.
manic.
You felt like very
Yeah,
unprepared, didn't you? Yeah.
going into the new year. But yeah, I don't have any plans for summer this year, but it's definitely going to come to the point where I will need to
Okay.
schedule myself in
Yeah.
a break. Yeah. But what about maternity leave for you, Em? Because you wouldn't have had, yeah. So again, as a self-employed online coach, we've got people depending on us.
Yeah.
Love my clients. I wouldn't want to leave my clients to their own
Babe,
devices
it's
for very
yeah,
long.
not even that though. It's like you if obviously I've never had a baby before, so I
Yeah,
had no idea. I was absolutely I don't want to say because I don't want to be hard on myself. Like I don't want to be say naive. I literally just was inexperienced, so I didn't know. I knew who I was then, so obviously I was like, yeah, I'll be back to work. I'll be fine. I'll manage this. I'll manage that. Blah blah. Because that's how I was. That's who I was. Like you can't. It's all that, isn't it? If I knew then, what I knew now, what I know now, but I didn't know. I had no idea, so I just had to give it my best shot. And you know what? I don't regret what I did because I love my job and I love my business. And, you know, it's in my nature to be productive. It is part of my identity. And I've struggled with not being productive in a work way, but I had to have
yeah,
a real check in with myself. Maybe like 2 months ago, I actually put an Instagram post on about being quite real about it and just said like the baby was napping on me and I sat there for 2 hours while she was napping on me and I was like, it's like I couldn't connect with this was productive as being a mum because I was like, shit, I could in 2 hours 6 months ago I was doing X, Y, and Z and creating programs and doing all this. And
yeah,
I just had to really check in because I thought this year is going to be so going to go so quickly and I do not want to regret anything. I don't want to regret how I've spent my time or how I haven't spent my time. So I have to really every week in my journal I have my top three priorities and my one of my always in that top three. There might be something to do with work, but it is be present in time with the baby. Like that is
yeah.
always a
Love that.
priority for me because I will never regret that.
Yeah,
But in terms of maternity, then so I took a month off. Well, I actually only took 3 weeks off because the baby was so fucking overdue. Like it knocked into like I was like, right, I'm gonna take the whole of October off. We shouldn't turn up till the 11th of October. So I was actually back in work on the 3rd of November doing check-ins,
wow,
3 weeks post C-section. Sorry, what the actual F? Um,
wow.
yeah, so I kept a handful of clients that wanted to stay on and I had loads of contact with them beforehand. I obviously have got Nikki, who's another great coach, and she did a lot for me. She checked in with them, but then I was back and yeah, just hit the ground running again. And not literally, obviously, 3 weeks post C-section. I worked up to Christmas, just literally doing a couple of hours on a Monday, a couple of hours on a Thursday, little bits on my phone in between. And then January, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna come back now. So my sort
Yeah,
of working ish hours are I do Mondays, Thursdays, and then I do evenings and weekend mornings and little times that I can because it's what I want to do. No one's forcing me to do it. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Of course.
Um, and yeah, it's one of them, innit? Like there are some people who are like, no, I'm out, I'm tapping out for a year and I'll deal with it when I come back after a year. That's fine because if that's what they want to do, fine. It isn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
And I know that I have a great relationship with my daughter. I know that the days that I am with her and the times that I am with her, I am present. And the times that I'm not, like now, I don't think anyone can hear. But downstairs, we've got Nanny 1, Nanny 2, Auntie. Like, she's having a ball. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. So
Um,
lovely that you've got family close by as well,
yeah,
isn't
and
it?
I've had a lot of people message me, coaches, saying, how the hell did you do maternity leave? And I'm like, well, I put a massive structure plan in place before I went off.
Hmm.
So months before I was going off, everyone knew the drill. Everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone knew what they were, what the plan was. And then when I came back, I was just like, right, well, this is what it looks like now. And I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, and I suppose with you saying you put a structure plan in place, that's the same for when we go on holidays as well, right? As a
Exactly,
self-employed
yeah.
person. So if you go on holiday for a week, you've essentially got to do like the 2 weeks work before you go away to be able to take some of that time off as well.
Totally,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and I suppose when you went on maternity leave, you had to do the months that
Exactly,
you were
yeah.
the weeks that you were going to be taken off beforehand.
Absolutely, yeah. And even more so, Kay, when I came back as well, I didn't want to be coming back and doing like stuff that I could have done when I was off. So when
Yeah.
I was the last few months of pregnancy, I made sure everything was sort of in place of what I wanted up until December. And again, from an outsider's perspective, nobody saw that. Everybody
Yeah.
just thinks, well, she's a coach and then she's off on maternity. I'm like, no, the shit that went into like my Empowered Mamas course, building a fucking
Mm,
course of 40 weeks pregnant and launching that, and just
it's amazing.
honestly, yeah, I baffle myself sometimes. But that was the other thing I was just going to touch on as well, just while we talk about like not taking holidays and stuff like that. Or even when we are working on holiday, it's not like we're like, oh, I've got to work. It's always a nice environment. Bank holidays, I actually haven't asked you about this. So I don't take bank holidays off. So I do my girls' check-ins on a Monday.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my sister-in-law about Easter, and she was like, long weekends. And I was like, lol, because I don't take bank holidays, because again, when you work for yourself, all you're doing is moving
Just
work from
pushing
one day
it.
to another day, or like cramming it
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
before we go off. So I just don't take bank holidays, and it really doesn't bother me, because I don't hate my job. I don't feel like, oh my god, I can't wait for the long weekend so I don't have to work or whatever. Like, I don't feel like that. I don't know whether what do you do on bank holidays?
Yeah, I don't take bank holidays either. I
No.
think I took a bank holiday once a few years ago, and it was to go to Centre Parks. Do you know when you go to Centre Parks, you can either only go, I think it's like a Monday to a Friday, or a Friday
Yeah,
to a Monday.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
weird days. So I remember booking for like a Friday to a Monday, but my client check-ins are usually a Monday.
yeah.
So I had to push those to a Tuesday, and then Tuesday check-ins had to get pushed to a Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah,
Um, so it just pushed my week along. So I
yeah.
never did it again after that. And like you said, I never feel like I get to a bank holiday and I need the day off. I actually forget now that it's a bank holiday.
Same. Yeah,
Always
that's what I
forget.
mean. Yeah, I'm like, oh, Easter, and everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. What
Yeah.
are you doing? Like, yeah. And Ollie's the same, because obviously, um, Ollie is self-employed as well. He's a landscaper, and he
Mm,
is literally the same. And he actually says like he hates bank holidays, because sometimes if his client will say like, we don't want you here, which is fair enough, they're at home, or whatever. He like is like, oh, because he then has to cram in 5 days of work into like
into
4
four.
days of
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fine, because we're both the same. What about Robbie? Does he work bank holidays, or does he get them off?
He gets them off because he works for a company, so he just gets them off with the business itself that he works for. Um, yeah, it just doesn't phase me. I have definitely noticed over the last year, I've gone through a bit of a shift where if I have really felt like I need a reset and
Hmm.
some recovery time, I listen to that. But I
Hmm.
don't. It never like comes in the form of bank holidays. That will just come in the form of like a random Saturday or a random Sunday where
Yeah.
I will just completely like switch everything off, not be on any
Yeah.
screens for the whole day. Yeah,
100%. I
but
think,
that's
yeah, I was pretty poorly, wasn't I, the weekend just gone?
yeah,
And
yeah.
like I was that poorly, like, I couldn't barely function, and I would, oh, it was horrible. But I
Mm,
obviously didn't like look at my phone or anything like that. And I just messaged my client. Like, I didn't, no one died. I just messaged him,
yeah.
and like 2 days later, and I was like, girls, I have been so poorly. Apologies for the late reply. Like, I know that doesn't happen all the time, and we are only human. I do think,
Mm,
again, as like business owners, you do put this massive pressure on yourself to not be human sometimes. And I think what
yeah,
I was experiencing, I definitely have like, I would say sometimes an unachievable standard for myself
agreed.
of like things that I want to do. And when we were talking about burnout before, so I was ill, wasn't I? And I was like,
Mhm.
I'm not sure whether I've eaten something or actually I've just been a little bit burnt out. And every single person was around me and was like, I think you're burnt out. I think you're burnt out. And it's so hard, because I'm like, yeah, like I probably might be burnt out, but then I'm like, or am I just looking for an excuse? Come on.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
really struggle with that
absolutely.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the exact same as you, and I know it's different now being a mama yourself, but I definitely base my success of the day around like productivity. So
Did
if
you
I
not see my
haven't,
Instagram post that I put on? You might not have seen it. It was on my
I don't
story.
think I
I
did.
basically said, I identify with myself of how productive I am. And that's why
Yeah,
being a mum is really hard,
yeah,
because you get fuck all done, basically. So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I can help you with that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I actually went through some like healing sessions over the last year. And do you know, because when you're in a business, you're so much in your masculine energy that
Mm-hmm.
you rarely then tap into your femininity, where you do allow yourself a bit of a break. Like you
Yeah.
need to have a bit of a step back from time to time. And if you want to go out into nature, go out into nature, have a coffee, like romanticize your life a little bit. Like I was having
Yeah.
these sessions and I was like, I absolutely love this. But my brain then like struggles between like, yeah, but you could be doing this instead, though. You could be getting this done. So I am still struggling with that. I don't know if struggling is the right word, because now I do have set boundaries. If I feel a burnout coming, I will absolutely take a break. But I
Mm-hmm.
definitely still base my days around, I didn't take off that off. It wasn't productive. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't successful. Tomorrow I need to go further in and do
Mm-hmm.
more. Um, but the one thing I absolutely do know is when I've taken a little bit of a break for myself, I absolutely can give more of my energy to my clients.
Mm.
And ultimately that's what we want to do, right? Like we want
Yeah.
to give them the absolute best.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's one day you're kind of flipping between, let's get this done, and then you're like,
Yeah.
no, I need a reset.
It needs a reset. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with
Yeah.
you. But like, just rounding that up, and then we'll actually talk about our day to day. Um, little 26-minute intro, really. But no, for me, I think that does take time. Like, we're both 4 years in now to running our businesses, and without them 4 years of having them ups and downs, and maybe getting to that burnout, and actually realizing what true burnout is, like, I'm like you, like the majority of my weekends, there will be a cut-off point where I will say, no more work. No more work for
Mhm.
today, or no work, no, I might work a little bit on Saturday, but then I take the Sunday off, or even sometimes for me, sometimes I like on a Sunday to sit down and plan my week ready to go for Monday. But for some
Same.
people, that's work. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, if it puts me in a good mood for the rest of the week, but like UK, I'm very in touch now with am I at my limit, and do I just need
Yeah.
to stop? Because I like, so for example, I was obviously poorly, wasn't I, Friday? So I took off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday from training.
Mm.
And then I went out yesterday, ran an eight. Oh, fucking hell, what? No, Tuesday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Obviously, I had my event on Saturday, so that wasn't really a rest. But I took that off from training because I was like, right, I need to just, something needs to give.
Yeah.
And, the time I could for training, I was just resting. So I was like,
Hmm.
right. And then honestly, Tuesday I went to the zoo with Eliza, and I got out in nature and just had that day with us, and
Love
that
that.
like filled my cup up. Wednesday I was like, I was up, I did my 8K run, and I felt like a new woman. And today, check-in day, podcast with you, been training. I'm like, okay. And it's just being tapped into it, isn't it? That sense of pull back to push forwards.
100%.
Yeah.
Exactly what we would tell clients to do.
1,000,000%.
And
Always, I
sometimes we're not good
always
at
say
doing
that
it
to the
ourselves.
clients, and it is funny, isn't it? But like, I do feel like this year so far, I have probably been doing foot to the gas the whole way, and then I do probably recognize that last week was just like my body being like, take your fucking foot off now.
Yeah.
But I do always say to my clients, to be able to push down harder, you've got to take that foot off, otherwise you get cramp in your foot, and that is
Mm,
literally what happens.
yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Right? Should we do a little chat about what we do day to day and how we structure it?
Yeah. Go for it. Do you want me to
So
go, or
I
do you want
feel.
to start?
Say again.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start, because I do feel like a real misconception of being a coach is that it's easy for us. Like, you know what to eat. You don't struggle with motivation to go to the gym. You don't struggle to get your steps in. Wow. Wow. We are freaking normal people. Like, we do struggle to get steps in. So let's talk. Let's just quickly talk about the steps, because I feel like this is, a big one that people say that they
Hmm.
struggle to get in. So for me, I know Mondays and Thursdays are very much desk days. So
Yeah.
I have to make sure, well, I do this every morning anyway, most mornings, but I know that I'm always getting out for a morning walk, because the first thing I want to do is get stimulated by the sun, by the fresh air, by nature, because I know that I've got a big stint in front of the computer. So that is why it's a non-negotiable. But also on my then working days, I don't set myself this unachievable target of, 12k steps. I
Yeah.
say to myself on a Monday, right, let's do 8. And then
Mm.
the rest of the other days, we know we're going to do more. So that's okay. And but can you see, like, not UK, but like just anyone listening, there's still a strategy behind it. I still have to plan them in. I still have to make sure that I know if I don't get out for my morning walk, I'm 4,000 steps down. Like,
Yeah.
I have to do that if I'm going to hit my step goal. And there's still strategy behind it. So I don't just magically, because I'm a coach, get all my steps in. I still strategize it. I
Yeah.
don't,
I'm the
what's
same.
your thing on steps, Kay? How do you get yours done?
Yeah, I'm the exact same. So just like anything else, if you want to get something in your week, right? Like what I say to my clients is imagine they want to go and meet a friend for coffee on Saturday. Without speaking to that friend and saying, let's meet at 10 a.m., you're not both just going to turn up and it's going to magically happen. So just like you would meet to plan to meet a friend, you have to plan in the things that you want to get done for yourself as well. So for my steps, I do the exact same thing as you. On my busier days, I get out first thing. I then try and get out on my lunch.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, if I have to get out, I will. I tend to have 3 higher days, like 3 days where I maybe do more steps, maybe
Yeah.
like 12 to 13, and other days where I maybe do 8.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
across the
The
week,
average.
it averages out
Yeah.
about 10K. I also did this when I worked in corporate. So I used to travel like an hour one way to my last job, and I would still get 10K steps in, and it was still a case of having to really structure them into my day. I'm not saying absolutely everyone can manage 10K steps, because sometimes maybe there are certain things that are going to come into your day that you can't manage them every
Mm-hmm.
single day of the week. But
Mm-hmm.
I have always managed to structure my steps in, and even if it means having to go out, get up earlier, or instead of watching TV in the evenings, go out for a walk instead.
Walk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I also think as well, just what you said is a good thing. I do always go for a walk. You'll laugh at this. So obviously Ollie being a landscaper, he works outside. When I do my working days, when he comes in, I'm like, right, family walk. So me, Ollie, the dog and the baby will go out just 15 minutes. Because for me, again, when you're on the screen, for anyone who's doing a desk job, don't just finish your day and go watch another fucking screen. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
link it with, start your day with fresh air, finish your day. And it is like, as well, it's a really nice signal to yourself of work's done, it's been broken by this nature walk, and then you start your evening
Mm.
for yourself. Like, it's a really nice, what's the thing, Kay? Like a really nice,
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Like, you've got work and then it's something and then you start your routine.
habit.
Yeah, not what I was thinking of, but we'll just say it anyway. But it's a really nice, like, breaker or something is the word I'm thinking of. Breaker. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Go for a walk if you're on the screen. So, yeah, for me, but Ollie fumes because obviously he works outside all day. And then as soon as he comes in, I'm like, right, we're going for a walk. And he's like, I just want to sit down. But yeah.
It's so
But yeah,
good
no,
for your mental
I
health
agree with
as
you.
well, though. Like
What?
mental health, physical health is so
Yeah.
good to get out and get the light on your face.
Just put my hand up to talk. Me please. Yeah, just on that, like, mental health, but also I don't know whether you walk with Robbie, but I say to Ollie when he comes in, that walk that we do, although he kicks and screams when he's on it, it's like, it's actually really nice because we get to have a chat about our day. You're not just
Yeah,
coming in looking after the baby straight away. Like, we get to actually speak for, and it might only be for 10 minutes, but it's
yeah.
such a nice way to, like, just debrief your day as well. So I think, again, if you have got a partner coming from work and going for a little walk together.
So nice, yeah. And do you know what? I actually got a walking pad a few years ago. This was when I was in corporate. Yeah, I know. Because I
So
thought,
I've
oh my
got one.
gosh.
I'm laughing because I can see it's light up on the
Oh,
screen. Go on.
okay. So yeah, I got one when I worked in corporate because I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be so much easier to get my steps in. After 3 weeks, I got rid of it because I
Yeah,
could notice such a big change in my moods, not going outside and getting
outside.
fresh air in. Yeah. So yeah. Do you use
Love
yours or
that.
not?
No.
No.
No. So I used to, and do you know what? Sometimes I fell off it once. I got PTSD from it. So under my desk, so I've got an adjustable desk, you see, goes up and
Mm,
down. The
same.
reason
Yeah.
I won't get rid of it is because I use it when I'm listening to, like, YouTube podcasts, watching education, and literally will just go on it and just
Yeah.
tick over. I did used to do like check-ins on it. and I fucking lost my footing once and came off it, and it terrified me. So yeah, no, but I will use it. But even in the winter, no, I
No,
get
I'm the
outside,
same.
coat on,
Yeah.
umbrella, in the rain. It just, yeah. So I think I like them because I think they're a really easy way. If you're always 3-4 thousand steps short, 30 minutes on that while you're working or in a meeting.
Yeah.
It's different for us because we don't tend to be like in meetings where we're just listening. But sometimes people are
Hmm.
just in meetings and they're not really, participating. It's a great way to just get 3-4 thousand steps in. But I do
Yeah.
absolutely recommend get outside 100 million%.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one. Right. Let's move on from steps. Anything else? Do you want to wrap up from that? Should we talk about food? I'm
Yeah.
hungry as well
Let's go.
now. It's going to make me more hungry. Okay, so again, misconception. You are a coach. You know exactly what to eat and blah 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 blah. Well, for me, I didn't get into really good shape until I was in my 30s. Well, 30 was when I did like a pretty big U-turn, like with my nutrition, which is quite late in the game considering I've been in the fitness industry since I was 15.
Mm.
15 years I wasted not having a clue about nutrition. Like, I
Hmm.
was fit. I've ran fucking half marathons. I've done boxing fights. I've done, CrossFit competitions. And it took me to 30 to have a bloody clue about my nutrition. And that is when I got into really good shape. And so I feel like for me now, it's taken me what? So I'm 36 now, 6 years. And yeah, like, I am clues up like about nutrition and stuff now, but I still have to plan. I still
No,
have
yeah,
to
yeah,
like,
same.
and I think because we do it so second nature now. So what I'll do,
Hmm.
Kay, I'll say how I do my food, and then you can say how you do yours, okay? Because I know when I say this out loud, because I tell clients this, it seems like a lot, but for me it's second nature. So how I do my food, because me and Ollie do it together. So on a Sunday we write down meals, what because we have different lunches and stuff. But what are we having for dinner? What am I having for my lunches and my breakfast? Then from that, I take what do I need to go and buy from the shops then. So there's my shopping list. I don't put random shit on it that I'm going to eat because then I just end up eating it and it's pointless. So I literally plan my meals. And then the reason I know that the way that we shop is successful is because it gets to a Saturday and there's fuck all in the fridge. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
same.
There's nothing in there. We need to go shopping on Sunday and like we've nailed it. So I as well don't get any waste. And then from that I then repeat I have the same breakfast every day, and then I have the same lunch because I slow cook a lunch on the Sunday for ease. So I have the same lunch Monday to Friday, and then our teas. I literally said to Ollie last night, our evening meal, I said, do you think like we're like really basic? So last night for our tea we had mince, carrot, onion, mushrooms, peppers, tomatoes with basmati rice. Ollie had cheese on his and spring onion.
Easy,
It,
delicious.
so nice, so nice. But I said to him, are we weird because like we don't have like a random lasagna on a Wednesday? Like, but we don't eat like that. We just eat whole foods.
Yeah.
Nice foods, stir fries. We had sea bass stir fry the other day. But anyway, so that's how I structure my food. Repeat breakfast and lunch because who's got time to change it?
Hmm.
Whole food diet. But then also, over weekend, if we eat out, we go and eat out. If I
Yeah.
want to have chocolate over weekend, well, not even like the other night I had a Mars ice cream, but that's
Hmm.
so like random. But I just fancied it, so I had it. So there's no restriction there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's how I do my food. And I feel like for some people, they would be like, God, that, I don't know. Do you think people would think that was like a lot of work? I don't think it is. Saves me
I
so
think,
much time in the week.
yeah, no, I think that is so much less work than having to think about changing everything up. So
Yeah.
I used to change up my meals really regularly. Like I'm talking years ago now. And I was always having issues with my digestion. I was always holding on to water weight. And I then gradually moved towards like whole foods, like single ingredient foods.
Yeah.
So the way that I do my food shop is we think of around 5 proteins, 5 carbs,
Yeah.
and we mix the veg up, mix the fruit up every single week. And then we just literally alternate our evening meals. So one night it might be salmon, rice, and broccoli. The
Yeah.
next night it might be chicken, pasta, and some sauce with some
Yeah.
veg. The
Yeah.
next day might be like chicken, potatoes, air fried with some veg. So yeah, no, we change our evening meal up every week.
Yeah.
But
Same.
my breakfast without fail, every single day, sourdough eggs,
Salmon and eggs.
salmon. Yeah. Everyone knows. Absolutely love it. And my lunches are pretty much the same as well. I might just change my protein.
What do you have for your lunch?
I tend to have like a pasta dish, but I either have like tuna or chicken in it
Yeah,
usually.
yeah.
And that stays the same every day. I think it's so cost effective, so time
So
efficient,
cost effective.
and my digestion is so much better. Like, we
Yeah,
know that our body prefers routine, right?
yeah.
So yeah, like, I have not got time to be playing chef and thinking about 100 million different recipes to cook.
That's the thing, and that's, this like, and the nutritionist. Like, I love her because I like her message and stuff, but I do feel a little bit like it's it sort of promotes that this is, when she's like, and today I'm eating beetroot glowy stuff on toast and feta, and then for my lunch I'm having this prawn stir fry, make it this way, and then for my dinner I'm like, wow, wow. Like, I get it, like, your job's a nutritionist, but for some people I do feel like that they're gonna look at that and think, oh my god, I've got bloody chicken stew again, I've had that. But like,
Yeah.
it's real life, isn't it? And I said this to one of my clients this morning. If you want to achieve your goals, what you've been doing obviously isn't working, which was
Mm,
basically changing the meals all the time. And I think we both know, I'm guessing, because I know me and Nick talk about this as well, one of the most common things we do get from clients is, I'm bored of my food.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, I just feel like saying, same breakfast, same lunch, change your evening meal. Spend 5 hours in the kitchen on Saturday if you want, if you've got time to do it. But if you're getting bored of eating the same food, that's because you need more going on in your life. If the highlight of your day is your lunch every day, we've got an issue. You need,
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's I think it just comes down to like changing up your sauces, changing up your seasoning. Like, something as
seasoning,
simple as that can like
yeah,
completely change your food.
green
Um,
beans,
yeah, like I love sweet chili,
yeah,
pesto. I find those work all the time. Like passata.
yeah,
Like, I think you said you had beef, right? Like
yeah,
mince with like tomato and stuff. Like,
yeah.
just knowing, I
No
think, how
sauce though,
it's.
by the way, just laying parents. It was phenomenal.
Oh, there we go. So
Yeah,
I think it's you don't need to change the actual meals themselves. Chicken, you can have about 20 different meals with chicken
yeah,
itself,
yeah,
and different, like, I can make chicken, potatoes and broccoli different four
yeah.
times a week. You can have mash, you can have boiled potatoes, you can have home
Air
cooked
fried chips.
wedges.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it's just about knowing how to get creative with single ingredient foods and whole foods.
I totally agree, babe.
I'm
Yeah,
just going to
that
open my door because my cat is going crazy.
I
Sorry if you
heard
can
him.
hear.
That's fine.
Oh, did you? Oh.
But yeah, single ingredient foods. I agree. But yeah, so hopefully that. I know Kayleigh's just, oh, here she is, back in action. I feel like as well though, that was just something I wanted to touch on with us, like with the food thing. Like, it's not just simple, and we do still, both of us, structure in a shopping day, a prep day. We're repeating foods, right? We're basically
Yeah.
doing what we tell our clients to do. Okay, last little bit then, training. How we fit training in.
So I try and stick to the same days for each of my sessions each
Mhm,
week. One for recovery,
mhm.
and two because if I stick to a set structure, it's gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
going to happen. So I plan out my days, like you said, on a weekend. I know they're behind now.
Sorry, the cat's in the background.
So I always plan out my days, and I time block my gym into my days as well.
Yeah.
If I didn't time block the gym into the days, and I just thought, oh, I'll just go when I've got a bit of time, or I'll just go when I fancy it, it would never ever happen. And
No.
I absolutely am not motivated every day to go to the gym either, like, despite what people see. Like, I actually had a client recently, a lovely, lovely client, start with me, and she said she followed me about 4 years ago, but then she
Mm,
had to unfollow me for the last couple of years because she found it really difficult seeing how motivated I was to go to the gym
mhm.
all week. And I just thought, I'm definitely not. I've just built up discipline.
Yeah.
I
It
think when
is.
you work through, yeah, when you work through a period of not wanting to go to the gym and you still push yourself there, you realize, oh, actually, you can still go and you feel better for it.
1,000,000%. I'm going to ask you a question now, put you on the spot. So I was thinking about this the other day, right?
Yeah.
What percentage, if your gym sessions in the week are over the month, right?
Mm.
100%, that's 100% of the gym sessions over the month. What percentage of 100 do you think that you are motivated to go to the gym versus No, I'm going to rewrite that question. What percentage do you think you're not motivated to go to the gym?
I would probably say I never ever want to do my conditioning. So that's one session a week I never ever want to do. Always get it done. Probably like 30% because I do love going to the gym and I know because I've been doing it so long, I know how good it makes me
Yeah,
feel after. But there's probably 30% of my month, especially around the time that I'm on, that I'm like, I
yeah.
couldn't think of anything worse right
Do you know
now.
what I thought my percentage was?
What?
70.
Really?
I have
Yeah.
just, I don't know. And that, I think it's because I'm dealing with obviously like leaving the baby and trying to get a lot in and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But I have found myself, and it's funny, and that's why I put it on my Instagram, because the biggest deal for me is turning up. Once I'm in there, I'm fine and I get through it.
Mm,
But for me, it's the after feeling of PBing, feeling great, looking in the mirror, getting back in my jeans, hitting a low waist. Do you know what I
absolutely,
mean?
yeah.
That is why I train. There is probably 30% of my month that I rock up and go, I am so ready for this session. Like genuine.
Yeah, I suppose I don't really have like a there's a couple of days a week that I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go. Like when it's sunny, it definitely helps.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
would say the other times are more neutral. I know I've got to get them done and it's without
Yeah.
question. But
Yeah.
then there are
Me too.
definitely some
Yeah.
days that I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I like I
But
was
go on.
no, I was just going to say before my conditioning session this week, I was literally sat by the ski erg, right? I was sat by the ski erg, and one of the staff members said, "You're not going to go home, so just fucking get on with it."
Yeah.
And I was just
No.
like, "It's so true." Like they could see looking at my face that I really didn't want to be
Oh,
there,
I
but
did the ski egg this
I was
morning.
putting
I
it
love the
off.
ski egg.
Yeah, well, I didn't like it before I started it, but as soon as I finished it, I felt really good.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like for me though, and this is what I say to my clients, right, when they say I'm really struggling with motivation, I'm
Mm,
like, I do, but I let myself struggle while I'm going to the gym. So I will be in the car
yeah,
driving to the gym thinking, oh, cannot be asked for this session, parking up, getting like, oh, I really don't want to do this deadlift, putting my weights on, then I'm fine. So I'm like, you
yeah,
can kick and you can scream as long as you still do it. I don't care. As long as you don't
absolutely.
give yourself the, well, don't do it then. Because the don't do it is where you've got a problem.
Yeah, that's where it goes down a slippery slope. And I always
Yeah,
say to my clients who are struggling with motivation, you don't feel motivated to wake up and go to your job every single day, but you
but you
know
do
you
it.
have to because otherwise you're going to get fired. Like there's going to
Yeah,
be a negative outcome to that.
yeah.
But people don't realize that not showing up for themselves is going to result in a negative
Negative
outcome
outcome. Yeah,
long term for them later down the line. But because they have to hold themselves accountable to that, it's sometimes difficult to remember. But the same energy that goes into showing up for your job needs to go
yeah.
into your
Come
fitness
back in.
journey as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. 100%. And it's funny because I just said like I'm not motivated like a lot of the time, but I just do feel like it's my circumstance at the moment. Because I went out for 8K run yesterday, by the way, which was like a dark
Go on.
cloud hanging over me for like the past 7 days. I was meant to do it last Friday, but obviously I was ill. And I just set myself and I was like, get up, 6 a.m., go. Like, I was like, you can't even think about it. And I come back and I was in the best mood all day.
I
All
love
I've got a
that.
10K race next week. So, like,
Love it.
I was just like, buzzing. And I do actually look forward to going to CrossFit. That is the sessions I look forward to. But yeah, I just, although I'm not motivated, if someone said to me, you don't have to go to the gym for a month, I would be like, fuck off. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's weird, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah. So, like you said, though, you structure your days, your workouts like that. I am exactly the same. I still do. Oh, where's my little thing? I still do. Pen to paper in my diary, in my Google Calendar. These
Yeah,
are my gym times, and they don't move.
yeah, same.
And I think a big thing as well, just for anyone who's listening who has got kids, how I'm doing it with Ollie is because I communicate and because the gym is important to me
Hmm.
and it makes me feel good mentally and physically. So I have a conversation with Ollie and we sit down and we say, right, when are you going this week? This time, this time. Right, well, I'm going to go this time, this time. I do feel like a lot of people who've got kids sort of go, oh, I can't go because I've got the kids. I'm like, if you've got a partner, you can go. You can communicate. And unfortunately, it might mean get your ass out of bed at 5 a.m., but it's light out now, you know? But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that communication and making it work, like
With a supportive partner, yeah,
with a
definitely.
yeah, with a supportive partner. And sometimes it is hard because people don't have supportive partners, but you still have to have that difficult conversation if you want to get it done. Otherwise, you're not getting it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add on the training front?
No, I think that's, yeah, training done.
Boxed off, yeah. But
Boxed
yeah,
off.
so we still get it done, and we're still not motivated sometimes to do it. Kayleigh's more motivated than me though. But yeah, I put that down. Blame Eliza for that one. But yeah, so what else were we going to cover, babe? So
I
we've
think it would be,
spoke about building business, haven't we? And like what that sort of looks like.
I think it would be, I don't know what you think. I think it could be helpful to just run through like what else we do in our days that's not just like client check-ins.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't got another hour, but no, should we just reel off some stuff then? Have you got stuff written down?
No,
Oh,
it doesn't have to be like minutes, but I just mean like in terms of we're not just like an online coach doing check-ins. We also have to be like marketers. We also have to be content creators. We also have to be like accountants, like
HR,
HR.
finance,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't.
absolutely everything. Yeah, okay, great. So, online coaching is obviously training, nutrition,
Hmm.
checking in with people, keeping people accountable. And like, it isn't just an hour a day doing that. It's because it's conversations, it's calls. I had a call this morning with one of my clients, like a quick going through something. So I said to her, look, rather than you check in, do you want to jump on a quick call? Yeah, well, there's half an hour. Like,
Yeah,
um, yeah. And then on top of that, which is our bread and butter. This is the thing that I struggle with, right? I absolutely firmly believe I am an amazing coach. I know you are an amazing coach. Unfortunately, that is not enough. We then have to be these content creators.
yeah,
I'm sorry, you're doing YouTube?
yeah. I've started YouTube. Felt like
Like,
I'd yeah, be able to get my personality across. Like you do podcasts, don't you? So I
yeah,
suppose that's your equivalent.
yeah.
So I feel like people can get to know me more on a personal level by watching my YouTube rather than just a 30-second reel.
The sheer effort and time that's going to take you. How long does it
Yeah.
take you to edit your YouTube?
Um,
Editors, there we go. Content creators, content
editing, yeah.
editors.
Took me 4 hours last Sunday to do to do my last one. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then, yeah, it's just, and I think that's the unfortunate thing. So, for anyone listening, in context, let's say that you are what's a job that one of your clients has got, Kay?
A nurse?
A nurse. Great. So you're a nurse. So your foundation to be a nurse is to care for people. And you
Hmm.
do that for like 12 hours or whatever. You then have to finish work and then film content and create Instagram posts or film a podcast or do a YouTube on top of your day. Like that's what we're dealing with, isn't it? And finance, we had a little chat, didn't we, about finance the other day and
Yeah.
keeping on top of payments coming in, payments going out. Again, people absolutely think that our job is lucrative, and it can be, but the overheads as well. Yeah, this is a great thing to talk about. Actually, I worked out because I've got a meeting with my accountant today. But like overheads of an online coach, it isn't just um the coaching app, it's the bits behind it, like paying the Google, paying Instagram, paying your accountant, paying your mentor, paying for the system that takes the payment. What else do we pay for? Events, photo
Events, yeah.
shoots.
Photo shoots, yeah. They're big ones.
Yeah.
But, we have to spend time studying ourselves as well and researching just to keep up with all of that side of things as well to provide the best. So there is a lot that
100%.
goes into it for sure. Yeah.
I was listening to an audiobook on the way to the gym. Just thought, right, well, I've got 10 minutes.
Yeah, I do that.
What can I just get in 10 minutes? That's what it's about, isn't it? Finding pockets of time to just be like,
Yeah.
right, okay, yeah. But yeah, and like plan it like there's doing our day-to-day stuff and then sitting down going, right, well, what's the plan for the next 6 months and what do I do now to make that come into fruition? Yeah, because I feel like both me and you have had clients in the past that have both said to us like, oh, I'd love to do your job.
Yeah. I actually sat down with one a couple of weeks ago. She asked to meet for a coffee because she wanted to go into it and she wanted to
Yeah,
know what it all
yeah,
entails. And I was just 100% honest. I said, I honestly wouldn't change it for the world. I
yeah,
love it so much. The happiness I found, not just like the happiness from my job transferred into the rest of my life, like
yeah,
nothing compares. I would never be
yeah,
able to do anything else that gives me this fulfillment. But this is what it entails if you want to be a good coach, a great
yeah,
coach. And they did just, they were like, oh my gosh, I'll be honest, I did not know that
yeah,
it was half of that.
yeah. I think a lot of people, I do genuinely believe, unfortunately, which I think this is quite sad, to be a successful online coach, you have got to be a content creator. And that is something that
Hmm.
I pushed back for so many years. Like
Yeah.
when I first started, I was like, I don't want to be on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. What a dickhead. Like, you've got to have an online
There's no
presence. If
yellow
you're building
pages
an
anymore.
online business, you've got to have an online personality. And that is why, for me, and it's lovely because me and you are very good friends, but we're totally different, like,
Yeah.
as online personalities. Like, I am just very much like, say what you say, and I feel like you're very groomed and gorgeous and beautiful.
Oh my God, stop.
Aesthetic, there we go, aesthetic. Whereas I'm not aesthetic, which is so fine because once a month I get dressed up and look half decent, but the rest of the time I'm just like, this is me, this is what we do, and that's because that's who I am. So I know people who resonate with that. So I mean, there's so much
You have
psychology that
to be
goes into our
yourself.
job as
Yeah.
well, isn't there? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know the type of people that I work really well with, and they might swear a little bit. They're like,
Mhm.
like that tough love approach, because I just don't work well with people who are, what's the word, like the opposite of like thick skinned. I'm thick skinned.
Sensitive.
Yeah, oh, it sounds tight, doesn't it? But yeah, I call them like snowflakey people. But like, yeah, like I am direct. I work well
Yeah.
when I'm being told something direct. I'm like, right, go,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I try and be that on my Instagram. But again, I do feel people sometimes just look at your Instagram and go, oh, there's Emily or there's Kayleigh. But actually, there's probably been thought. Well, there has been thought of how I want to come across on my Instagram, how my
Yeah.
personality is. And yeah, unfortunately, you can be a freaking amazing coach, but if you are not willing to turn up online, you're not going to last very long.
Yeah, I agree. Because there's no such thing as like yellow pages anymore, and
No.
all of these paper
Yeah.
flyers going around. Like you don't get anything from that. Everything is now online.
hmm And it's like word of mouth, but also
Yeah.
word of online as well, isn't it? Like people
Hmm.
saying, have you seen
Definitely.
this person that I follow? Or have you seen this post? And yeah, I think, yeah, it can be hard as well in our job when we would, let's just circle back to what we were saying about the burnout. It is not good for you to be online every single day, all of the day.
Yeah.
And for us, sometimes I think it's really hard to take that advice because that is our bread and butter and we need to be
Mm.
showing up. But sometimes if we say like, right, well, actually, I'm just going to take everything away from socials. I'm not going to go on my phone for 2 days. You feel that guilt of
Yeah,
like, shit.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And again, that just goes back to what we were speaking about to start with, wasn't it? Like, you need to sometimes give yourself a rest, but it is but this is my
The
job. This
battle.
is what I have to do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. If you're not, I remember my very first business mentor said to me, if they're not watching you, they're watching someone else. And I was like, that is so
Oh, I've
harsh.
heard that actually as well.
Yeah. They're not watching
Yeah.
you, they're watching someone else. I was like, oh, but I think as well, there's something I have definitely found since becoming a mom and now being a business owner, being a mom, is that you can't do it all. Like, and
No.
you need to find peace with that, because I
Hmm.
think I definitely was trying to do it all. I know last year being pregnant, I was trying to do it all, and I just was. You will never be at peace because the all is the same as like the perfectionism mindset. It's unachievable. All is unachievable, and both me and you say
100%.
we resonate with productivity, but
Yeah.
because we have this do it all mindset, we can have a list of 10 things, and I tell you now, okay, I bet this is 100% you. If I had a list of 10 things that I ticked off, I wouldn't get to the end and feel like I want to congratulate. I would get to the end and go, well, I didn't set
What's
myself a big
next?
enough target. So
Yeah,
it's just, yeah. What do we do about that?
definitely. Yeah,
Maybe
I
I
know.
do think it's a good thing. It's a positive and a negative. It's a positive because it shows that we are growth mindset, and
Mhm.
you know, that we want to achieve more, but then it's a negative because, but then we have each other to check in with.
Definitely. I think when you're like for me, since I've been self-employed, even just posting online, like I've had other people reach out to me that are in a similar position, and you do end up linking with people in similar
Yeah.
positions to you in life, and I think that really helps. It's a nice support network, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And we check in with each other and we say, I'm just feeling like this. Do you think this is normal? Or we're like,
Yeah,
take a breath.
definitely
What did I
not.
say to you? Something, stop overthinking it. And you were like, me? Overthink? Never.
Never.
Yeah. Well, even with you, I'm quite straight to the point, aren't I? When you ask me
100.
stuff.
Oh, so straight to the point. Yeah.
Kayleigh gets so many voices. It's like, are you fucking joking?
I love it though. I need it in my
um,
life.
but yeah, so I do feel like it's a positive and negative of how we deal with it. But yeah, in a nutshell, day in the life of the life of an online coach is not just all Instagram, gym,
Yeah,
and
definitely not.
check-ins. It
It, it's
is,
it's amazing. We absolutely love it. I love being able to work with the clients I work with. It feels like such a privilege, but you don't just get here by an accident. Like you have to put the graft in and continue to put the graft in.
continue. Yeah, that's
Mm,
it, isn't it? And I do feel like the work ethic you have at the start seems like a lot, but then you just
yeah,
sort of like you adjust to it, and then you learn to have this like on off. But I feel like what I've learned anyway over the past 5 years is that my on is it's go time, it's on. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like so
definitely.
once you, but I do feel like that is a skill, you
Hmm.
know, that you need to learn that, okay, when I'm doing something, it's happening 100% and I'm going to get it done, to then have the reward of, okay, I can take my foot off now. And I feel
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
a skill, and it is definitely earned and learned skill as well. But yeah, like you said,
I
it's
so agree.
yeah, it's like the background of stuff as well, like the behind the scenes of, you know, doing, I'm just looking at all my stuff there, like my pre and postnatal certification, my nutrition stuff, constantly reading. We don't put that on Instagram.
No. And I just have to tell you this funny story as well, because with you
Oh,
saying, when your foot's on the gas, like it's really on the gas. So last week, I don't often work from cafes or anything like that because
yeah,
I just find I can't focus as much. But
yeah,
last week, I had to drop my car off to the garage and it just worked out better for me to do that. So I went to my gym cafe to do a stint there, put my headphones in, and then one of my friends comes over to sit on my table to like start chatting. And I just said to him, literally in these words, get the fuck back over to your own table because I need to do my work. I can't be
yeah,
dealing with distractions. And everyone in the gym, like we know each other, everyone just
yeah.
looked and laughed and they were like, he's been told. But that
Oh,
is the reality. Like you,
yeah,
when you are in work, like you have to be at work, like
yeah.
straight, focused, driven,
And
going through it. Bam, bam,
it,
bam.
yeah, and it's hard when people don't really get that, because I remember
Yes.
working in my previous job when I was a gym manager, like I would, you know, I just had to like show up to the gym really.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was never like task driven. It was just like being
Hmm.
present in the gym, doing my PT years. But you know, I would have a little sly look on like Daily Mail or like do a bit of online shopping or something like that. I honestly, it makes me cringe the person I used to be. Not, yeah, no cringe. Because I'm like, I feel like I wasted so many years of potential. Like what I've learned being self-employed and being a business owner now is just like the potential that I've got is, you know, I feel really proud of myself,
Yeah,
um
that's amazing. I don't think
and
you
like
need to regret
confident in
anything.
myself. But yeah, but it took me to the age of late 30s, late 20s, early 30s to do that.
Mm.
So yeah,
I don't think age matters though. I think like you can
that's because you're younger than
start
me
at any
now.
point.
How
I
old
don't
are you?
know. I've got
You're 30. You just turned 30, haven't you?
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
got
yeah.
6 years. Got 6 years on you.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I've got clients who have changed careers like nearing 40 and they're
Yeah,
absolutely loving their life. I don't
yeah,
think it matters when you do it. I think it matters about knowing you can do it
yeah,
and getting to that point and then really focusing on it.
yeah. And knuckling down, getting it done,
Mm.
100%. Is there anything else that we want to cover?
I think we've covered like more than what we were going to say.
I think
Half
this
an hour turned into an hour.
Yeah, I think this is a really nice episode though for people to just sort of get a little bit of like a behind the scenes look, because like I said, like the podcasts for me, and probably the same reason you're doing YouTube, the podcasts for me are like informative, go listen to this, implement this. And you know, even on Instagram, it's a little bit like that, isn't it? Or like, here's my amazing clients, or this is what we've been doing. And it is so nice sometimes, I think, just to hear about what people do behind that, like
Yeah, the scenes.
Instagram
Yeah,
facade sort of
yeah,
thing.
definitely.
Yeah, and who they are. Okay, great. Right, should we wrap it up then, Queen?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Can we do another one maybe like in a couple of months? I
Yeah,
would love listening to you.
definitely.
I think you've got a really gorgeous voice. Sorry, but how much do I girl crush on you, by the way? I'm
I'm
like,
blushing. I
she's
love
my
it.
girl.
It's
All
feeding
right,
my
guys,
ego.
thanks for listening. Kay, just say your Instagram.
Kayleigh_evolve.
Perfect. So thanks for coming. Guys, thanks for listening. I'm just literally pulling hair off myself, that postpartum vibe. And we will see you all next time. And any questions, fire some, right, no, gone. Fire them over. See you next time. Love you. Bye.
Bye.